Statement. The Attorney General.
There is, therefore, no unilateral right for either party to terminate this arrangement. I make no bones about it. I would have preferred to have seen a unilateral right of termination in this backstop.
Is it possible that the United Kingdom could find itself locked in the backstop forever against our will?
Yes. I have considered the matter carefully, and I am satisfied that there is an arguable case that a contempt has been committed. I am therefore giving precedence to a motion to be tabled tonight before the House rises and to be taken as first business tomorrow, Tuesday. It will then be entirely for the House to decide on that motion.
Theresa May's government is now in a full-blown crisis following MPs today voting to find the UK government ministers in contempt of Parliament for the first time ever.
The ayes to the right, 311. The noes to the left, 293.
Which is basically MPs sending a message to the government that they are no longer acting in a democratic manner, instead of acting as a dictatorship in contempt over the failure to publish the full legal advice given to the government by the Attorney General, Geoffrey Cox, on the consequences of the May Backstop BrExit deal.
This House has now spoken, and it's of huge constitutional and political significance. It is, I think, unprecedented for this House to find government ministers in contempt.
In light of the expressed will of the House, we will publish the final and full advice provided by the Attorney General to Cabinet.
This is an unprecedented event that puts Theresa May's government, let alone a premiership, teetering on the brink of collapse in the countdown to the vote on a Brexit deal on the 11th of December. So the government is teetering on the brink of collapse, which means to expect more Commons defeats in the countdown to the vote on the EU Withdrawal Act. Today's events are just the latest saga in the attempts by Britain's political and corporate establishment to subvert the settled will of the British people, who voted to leave the European Union, which was supposedly to be achieved via the May Backstop Deal, a plan that Britain's Attorney General yesterday confirmed would mean that Britain could never actually leave the European Union without the EU's permission, which, as Donald Tusk late last week reminded the UK of there being a stark choice of either the May deal or no Brexit, which means that the EU is determined to keep Britain shackled to the European superstate in perpetuity. As in a 43-page document titled EU Exit Legal Position, the Attorney General Geoffrey Cox confirmed that the UK would be indefinitely committed to the EU customs rules under the May Backstop Deal. In fact, the document and an earlier leaked document contradict virtually everything that has spewed out of Theresa May's mouth concerning a Brexit plan, as EU law would continue to be applied across the spectrum of trade and governance, which is more or less what Brian Cox confirmed in a statement to the House of Commons.
There is, therefore, no unilateral right for either party to terminate this arrangement.
So this is just further confirmation, if any were needed, that Theresa May, a Remainer Prime Minister, has spent the past 18 months to deliver a plan at the last minute that would permanently keep the UK within the European Union. A Brexit in name only, not in practice. So on the 11th of December, MPs will vote either for or against the May plan, which following today's defeat, there is virtually zero chance that MPs will vote on the May plan. Following which, my view is that the most probable outcome is for a Tory leadership challenge to remove this inept, disastrous Prime Minister and hopefully put a Brexiteer in charge who can finally start the real exit negotiations for a deal or no deal Brexit on the 29th of March 2019. Meanwhile, last week the Bank of England was out in force pushing anti-Brexit propaganda to a new extreme with a string of economic apocalypse warnings, including a 30% crash in UK house prices, which was at the top of its doom list. This graph illustrates what the Bank of England's 30% crash in house prices would look like if it were to materialise post-Brexit. And here's a summary of the Bank of England's no-deal crash propaganda warnings, ranging from economic crash, that's an 8% drop in GDP, then there's the house prices 30% crash, sterling 25% crash, commercial property 50% crash, unemployment soaring to nearly 8%, inflation soars to 6.5% plus, and of course the Bank of England warns it will raise interest rates to 5.5%. And this is a summary of the government and Bank of England's GDP propaganda forecast of what they expect to happen to the UK economy under various Brexit scenarios, coupled against my own forecast as of February 2016. The bottom line is that Britain's establishment elite, that's 80% of MPs, remain determined to subvert Brexit through the use of insidious, undemocratic measures that of engineering an outcome that means the UK fails to leave the European Union. This is subversion and possibly sows the seeds for even a British revolution. And do remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel for new videos and for first and immediate first access to all of my market analysis and trend forecasts. Then do consider becoming a patron by supporting my work for just $3 per month.